Hola amigos, ¿cómo están? Lástima eso ya no se va a ver muy a menudo por aquí. Como esto no es YouTube, Doctor Pingüino no va a estar apareciendo muy a menudo. Como sea, bienvenidos de vuelta. Y sí, yo sé lo que dije la última vez. Yo sé muy bien lo que dije. ¿Dónde está el modelo, ya sea PNG moviéndose cada vez que hablo? O un Live Duty model completo de un salmón. O dónde está otro juego que no sea Genshin. Pero, puedo explicarlo. Primero que nada, es mi cumpleaños, yo sé, muchas gracias. Pero más importante, no tengo mucho tiempo hoy, entonces puede que sea un stream corto y más que eso también quiero seguir con la historia de Fontaine porque realmente sí, me está gustando. ¿Por qué tengo esto aquí en medio de la nada? Bueno, bueno, es solo eso. Sigamos con la historia. Así, fuera de cámara estaba explorando un poco más. Ya abrí, supongo. O descubrí toda esta parte. Conseguí algunos waypoints. No he agarrado todo por si algún día lo quiero hacer en vivo. Así que si quiero ahí tengo la opción por lo menos. Pero hoy solo quiero seguir con la historia. Está justo donde lo dejé la última vez. Pero, para que no digan que no hubo acción en este directo, aún sí puede que haya algo de acción en la historia, yo qué sé. También. ¿Dónde está el equipo? Ahí está. También voy a pelear unas rondas contra este jefe. Específicamente para conseguir esto. No sé quién lo ocupa. No sé si hay leaks y si hay no los... No creo que los vería. Pero tengo la sospecha que ese coso le serviría ya sea para Purina, Sposaler, Arkan. Que no estoy muy seguro de eso, pero estoy bastante seguro que le serviría a... Bueno, a ese no era el que tenía que hablarle. Le serviría bastante a Chlorinde. O es lo que yo ocuparía para subir de nivel. Entonces... Por eso estoy farmeándolos desde ahorita, porque es un personaje que de verdad quiero. No sé si de verdad los ocupa. Es solo una pequeña sospecha que tengo. Que bien podría ser equivocado. Como con Neil una vez. Estaba farmeando como loco los Summer Roses, creo que era. Que pensaba que eso era lo que ocupaba. Sí, también eso me sirve como pequeña prueba. Creo que cambié unas cosas con el bitrate desde OBS. Entonces para ver si eso mejora un poco la calidad del stream. Eso fue Headless, ¿verdad? Bueno, espero esa acción rápida ayude para ver qué tal ha cambiado la calidad del stream. Nos vemos. Fontana Lucchini. Me había spoileado de algo. Aquí lo voy a spoilear aquí a la única persona viéndome que soy yo. Dije, supuestamente cuando termine esta misión, si me paro como por aquí voy a poder escuchar a... ¿Mm? ¿Mm? Eh, como decía. Voy a poder escuchar a Purina llorar. No sé cuál es el contexto, solo sé que uno si se para aquí la puede escuchar llorar, pero hay más motivos para seguir con la historia. Ventana del cine. Esto es como lo del árbol de Sumeru, que definitivamente hice. Que definitivamente completé. Bastante. Eh, eh, Supongo puedes tener unas insignias. Pero solo por esta vez. Bien. Ok, ahora sí a lo importante. Vamos a ver si ya le dieron la pena de muerte. O si yo le puedo conseguir la pena de muerte. Algo que sería bien realista es que si la historia del Arkham, si toda la historia fuera solo este juicio, porque eso tomaría meses, si no es que años, o por lo menos un año, lo cual sería lo más cercano a la vida real con procesos legales. O que fuera canon que, si fuera así, que entre cada como actualización o cada vez que hay una actualización que avanza la historia. Uy, no tengo la cosa puesta. Es como el tiempo entre cada juicio. El tiempo que pasa entre cada actualización es como en tiempo real lo que pasa entre cada juicio. Para así simular cuánto toma un maldito juicio en la vida real.
Just so you're aware, I will be monitoring your actions and making notes as...
Very good. Thanks for being so agreeable. I'd pull a rose out of my hat as a gift for you if I could.
Él no debería estar bajo custodia, ya que es el mayor sospechoso
You may spare the
de
pleasantries.
asesinato
I'm just doing
y
my job.
secuestro.
You've arrived. Who's this?
Me? I'm Spina di Rosula's guardian angel. If you've got a problem, I've got the firepower.
Solo hice una pregunta, tranquila.
Sorry, I got a little carried away there. Call me Navia. I'm a partner of theirs, and will be helping investigate this whole situation. And these are my companions. Would you mind if they join as well?
Todavía eso está aquí. No puedo ser como una Ace Attorney que en medio del diálogo puedo mostrarles unas cosas random y ellos reaccionan como, ¿ah? ¿Eso por qué me sirve?
Fine by me.
Oh, new helpers? I would be most grateful.
Well, let's just say we're tagging along. It's not every day you get to see the secrets behind magic performed on such a large scale.
I appreciate your kind interest. Come with me. We'll be heading below stage.
Huh? Below stage?
Yes, a world of secrets is hidden beneath this magic box, prepared specifically for this switcheroo trick. But before I reveal everything, you should have a look first. Notice anything strange here? I'm not trying to be dramatic. Remembering the details of a trick will help you understand the methods used to perform it more easily.
Huh.
Y explicarlo directamente aceleraría las
Balloons and
cosas
other
también.
decorations here? Where did all that go?
Ah, good eye. That said,
Digamos que se
you're
lo llevó
still
la
far from
policía para
discovering the
buscar
answer.
pruebas.
The back? You mean the inside of the door? What's different?
Very good indeed. I thought you might not be able to catch that. The back of this door was patterned. Those patterns are now gone, replaced by a smooth wooden board. So, if you put 2 and 2 together, what do you get? Exactly. All right, let's go. I'll tell you how it works as we head down.
Okay.
Oh, so there was a passageway under
Jesus,
the
es
magic
como
box!
el túnel que hizo el Chapo Guzmán cuando escapó.
I knew you'd figure out most of it as soon as you saw this place. The 2 magic boxes are positioned right above the 2 entrances of the tunnel. See this flatbed trolley? The box with the lucky audience member in it would be shuttled over to the other side using the trolley.
This trolley can raise and lower and even rotate, ensuring that the box will face in the right direction.
I see. So that's the purpose of the box inside another box.
Precisely. The inner box would descend after the audience member was put inside and be moved along the trolley, all while the outer box would remain on stage as if nothing had ever changed.
So that's how you did it!
Once the box was
¿Por qué
lowered,
Paimon sigue con
the
eso
trolley
puesto?
would store some energy through this device here, with which it would complete the rest of the steps. The audience member would only be able to feel some slight movements in the dark, and by the time she walked out, she would already be back on stage.
Y se marea fácil.
Right!
Y vomita en medio del show.
Talking that whole time, and you even came out for a moment
Tiene
near
motion
the
sickness
end.
y vomita cuando lo estaban moviendo en el carrito.
Ah, yes. A phonograph operated by Lynette was used to achieve that effect. My assistant and I had already scripted our conversation beforehand. When the countdown began, I had already gone to the opposite box via a tunnel using that
And what about Lynette? Where was she?
I was in the mezzanine space in the back of the box.
Oh, interesting.
That's how we were able to coordinate Linny's lines with the assistant. And by the way, I was the one who walked out of the box at the end.
I mean, we are twins. All it takes is a change of clothes and no one can tell who's who.
Really
And
now?
that's my favorite part of this trick. Only Lynette and I can perform it.
So that's how it all worked. Wow.
Lynette would briefly
Bueno,
walk
ahora
out of the
explícaselo al
box and
juez,
then go back in,
literalmente.
jumping into the tunnel
A
and
ver si te
escaping
compra eso.
before the box on the trolley could finish ascent. And then I walk out of the other box in the audience area, and the trick would be complete. The operative word here
Línea en
being
medio del juicio.
would.
Su señoría, para ser justos, fue un gran espectáculo, ¿cierto?
But as you saw, Cal was in the
Eh?
box, not our audience member. She, on the other hand, mysteriously vanished.
We really don't know how that happened.
If not for that interlude, this would have been an astonishing trick. I probably never would have figured out how you pulled it off. And yet, to think that someone was able to use this magic trick to commit... Could we have a look around? I think we can come up with some more leads.
This is the scene of the crime, so Linny and Lynette are not permitted to stay here.
Yes, of course. No
Y aún
need to
así
be
los
so
dejas
strict
entrar.
now. I won't disappear into thin air, you know.
Bueno, supongo que sí están bajo custodia, sí están bajo custodia, como estaba diciendo.
Thanks, everyone. We're counting on you.
Yay, Jesus. Porque no todo eso bajo la misma cosa. Probablemente debería estar leyendo todo eso para cuando vayamos al juicio. Porque esta cosa sigue puesta. No. No voy a comprar esas cosas. Wait, se llama Laila con I así en español. Wow, esta cosa está calentando bastante. Paruzan. Ah. No estaba consciente de los varios cambios que le habían hecho en español.
What's this?
Looks
Gancho.
like a hook tied to the end of a rope. Huh?
Perhaps it was a prop for a different trick. But why would it have been left here?
Whatever it is, let's make a note of it first.
Ropa. Wait, ¿qué ropa? Oh, eso.
Oh, these are the clothes that the lady chosen from the audience was wearing. Her clothes are here, but she's nowhere to be found.
Oh, no.
And do you really need to do that if you're kidnapping them? Ugh,
I mean,
this is so confusing. Paimon doesn't want to be a detective anymore.
¿esos son lentes nuevos?
The floor is wet. Please be careful not to slip.
Speaking of which, why would there be
Oh, Paimon knows! It's one of those tricks where you pour water into a jug and then flip the jug over only for the water. And here's a broken vase. Huh. Did the trolley...
that can't be. The trolley moves along tracks from start to finish. It couldn't have hit the vase at...
Let's note this down too and think about it later.
No, así que sí, se había cambiado los lentes. Le pusieron ese efecto de espiral. ¿Qué más? Ah, me faltan unas cosas. El cuadro. Un interruptor. Como se lo bloqueaba, no miraba bien qué era. Este debe de ser el mecanismo del carro de carga. Parece que funciona automáticamente. ¿Cuál era? Para acceder al baúl mágico de la superficie se necesita una escalera. ¿Algo más? La ropa ya. La vía. Que solo en ese punto en específico la puedo ver. Se necesitaba una gran precisión para este número Y las vías son perfectas para que el carro siga una ruta fija. ¿Más aquí? Sí. Dentro hay todo tipo de herramientas para hacer magia y vestuario para el espectáculo. Pero está tan desordenado que parece como si lo hubieran metido de cualquier manera. Ah, sí lo creería. Lini sí me da estos vibes. Que no es muy ordenado. Esta es la herramienta clave con la que se transportó el baúl mágico. El asesino la usó para llevar a cabo su plan. ¿Y eso qué es?
What is this place?
It seems someone could fit through here.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. ¿Quién lo va a
Could
decir?
this
¿Quién lo va a
have been
decir?
the suspect's escape route?
Quiero ver si el propio juego hace una referencia a eso en lo que estoy pensando, porque en Star Rail sí lo hicieron.
Alone, perhaps. But if they had to pull another person with them, the space would...
But there are no other ways in or out of here.
Oh, la cortó en pedacitos y se la llevó.
Let Paimon write that down. Seems we're just
todo.
about done investigating down here.
Yes. Let's head back up.
No, ya vi eso. Ya es una evidencia. No sé por qué, pero ya lo es.
Well, we've ascertained the state of the crime scene. Let's find a place to sort out our findings once Malus returns. Seems to me that there are several things that don't add up here.
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle.
So, what did the guards say? Did the criminal escape through the vent?
They believe the odds of that are very low, since the vent leads to the Opera House's basement. The guards have checked the area carefully. No one left through the basement during the performance or after the incident, and no one was found hiding there.
So the tunnels become like a secret chamber then. You know, like the kind you usually see in novels.
The plot thickens. Halsey's disappearance and Cowell's death are both... No wonder Farina was so confident in her accusation. All the current evidence points toward Linny and Lynette.
In other words, the charges are very likely to be upheld unless we make some considerable progress.
Charges and
Nah,
then
esto
trial.
ya no tiene caso que los
So if the
encarcelen y ya.
charges are upheld, they'll announce a sentence?
That's right. This is how a trial goes in the Opera House. During the proceedings, the Chief Justice and the oratrice will hear statements from both sides. That's right. This is how indemnitium is produced. The statements from both sides, the defenses from attorneys, witness testimonies, and even the audience's emotions will all be projected on the oratrice. To put it simply, it's as if the oratrice has its own will and is a judge in its own right.
This also precludes any kind of favoritism on the part of the Chief Justice. Not that this has ever happened anyway.
Once both sides have finished
porque
speaking,
siento
the Chief
eso no es
Justice will make
enteramente
his final
cierto.
decision. Then, finally, the oratrice will be consulted by officials. The result it returns is the will of justice itself.
Huh? So that machine is the one that actually decides? Paimon thought Novelette called the shots.
In practice, there is very little difference. Both have always come to the same judgment. Which is why people have great faith in the Chief Justice. Ah, yes, the guards
Entonces, ¿qué
also
utilidad
asked me
tiene,
to convey that none of us will be allowed to leave this place before the trial.
Huh? What?
Because we've chosen to act as the twins' proxies. That makes us persons related to the case.
They're concerned that we might be colluding with outside parties, or that we might find outside help to disrupt the case. And even if that were not so, it could prove problematic if we happen to spread key information about the case ahead of time.
I'm ready to break out
Básicamente
at any
bajo
time.
NDA.
Whoa, there's no
Wow,
need for
nadie
that.
estaba diciendo algo
Paimon
sobre
thinks they
eso.
have a point. That
Of course. I just hope you don't mind the lack of options. I'm afraid that catering to all tastes is not in the cards, nor is...
In that case, let's just sort out our findings together here. Pity. I was hoping to take you to try some of Fontaine's famous desserts, too. I mean, what better way to properly think through our findings than over some tea and sweets?
Y un tecito.
Breaking out suddenly doesn't seem like such a bad idea after all. Just kidding, just kidding. Paima will still do her best, even if there are no snacks.
What do you mean, no snacks? Of course we'll have snacks. If we cannot buy some, then we'll simply make some.
Wait, ¿qué?
Huh?
Understood, demoiselle. Everyone, please come with me.
A mí no me sorprende que un lugar como este tenga una cocina. Me sorprende más que nos permitan usar la cocina.
Wait, you're carrying a portable stove with you?
No, ni siquiera tiene.
Yes, I must be prepared to meet the demoiselle's baking needs whenever the fancy strikes her.
I have eggs, sugar, and almonds at the ready.
Good work, you two. Then I'll get to it. Please sit tight for a moment. You'll get to taste my awesome snacks soon enough.
These three
all
are
right.
quite the interesting group.
Güey. Wow.
And Paimon thought it smelled good while it was still
Oh,
in the
con razón
oven.
estaban diciendo almendras
Oh,
también.
it's even
Pero
better
la harina de
now.
almendra.
From the way you had these two guys carrying all that stuff around, Paimon thought you'd have them do more during the baking process. But you ended up doing the entire thing by yourself. Beating the egg.
I was applauding.
And I was giving encouraging smiles.
Apoyo emocional. Muy importante al hacer
Thinking, aren't you worried
postres.
about getting your fancy dress dirty beating
Yo
egg
sabría,
whites
yo
and
sé hacer
baking like
postres.
this?
Y muy buenos.
Well, I don't think it's carved in stone anywhere that fancy ladies can only read books, sip tea, ride horses, and play the piano.
Strong,
I just really
independent
enjoy
woman.
making snacks. Don't underestimate beating egg whites, by the way. It's a real arm workout. You also need to beat
en
them
eso
to
sí
just
tiene
the right
razón.
consistency.
Oh,
or your
tiene un
macarons will crack.
Geovision.
Anyway, give these a try. Fresh out of the oven. There's 3 for each of us.
Only 3?
Well, eating too many sweet treats might send all that sugar to your head.
Eso y es carísimo
You wouldn't
hacerlos
be able
y
to think clearly
comprarlos.
about the case on a sugar rush, would you?
Tea is ready to be served as well. This is Demoiselle's favorite. Strong black tea with a floral fragrance that clears the mind and lifts the
Es de las
spirit.
mías.
No need for concern. I'm merely doing as...
All right then. Down to business. As Paimon mentioned previously, the tunnel seems to be something of a secret chamber. However, we can assume that Linny and Lynette were not alone within it. Some criminal also occupied its sealed confines. The magician twins could have committed the crimes, of course, but they lack any logical motive.
Exactly! Why would they do such a thing right when everyone was watching?
The flower vase and the thud we heard during the performance could indicate some altercation between Halsey and the criminal in the tunnel, resulting in the shattering of the vase, the discarding of her clothes, and her abduction. Perhaps the criminal thought that since she was chosen from the crowd, she would be too easy to identify if she was still wearing the same clothes.
Paimon thinks that makes sense, but the real trouble is...
True. None of the clues we found thus far support the existence of this third person. But the only people left to consider are both technically victims, whether it's the missing girl, Halsey, or poor Cowell.
Y más que eso, todos los asistentes del escenario usaban máscaras. Era fácil robarse una y ocultar su identidad y al mismo tiempo estar escondido ahí como si fuera parte del show.
Could Halsey have secretly made modifications to the magic props in
That's right. And even if she had tampered with the setup, she would need to understand the entire trick to pull it off.
Lo cual imagino es el caso. Creo que eso se había implicado cuando estaban explicando todo lo del show.
Nor does she have any motive. The guard said that she has never had any dealings with the Magic Troop's members.
Were we not thorough enough in our search? From the sound of things, this is turning into an impossible case. Your macarons are amazing, though, Navia. They smell great. They're nice and
Entre paréntesis, y
crisp
muy
and
importante.
They are my specialty, after all. And I see you've already had 5 of them.
What? 5? Oh, that can't be right.
¿Qué
Paimon only
va?
got 3, honest.
Please don't worry about it. At my age, a few less sweets might actually...
No. Being greedy is one thing, but Paimon knows how to count. Besides, Paimon knows that if she ate too many, then others wouldn't have enough. Wait,
Comer es su pasión.
even you don't believe Paimon? If Paimon ate those 2 extra macarons, then may they turn into stone in her stomach!
All right, we get it. Well, I suppose one of us might have gotten too engrossed in our chat. Maloose, set up the stove again, if you would.
Huh? What?
Making sure everyone gets 3 macarons, of course.
Exactly. We don't want to trouble you.
As you wish, demoiselle.
And I have the egg, sugar, and almonds.
Oh my god.
Well, this really is your hobby, huh?
Well, that's it for snack time. I'm going to have another look around the area. I don't know what we're looking for yet, but we've still got some time. As attorneys, I suggest the 2 of you think the case over again. It would be awkward if you got all tongue-tied on stage during the trial.
¿No sería inteligente volver al, al túnel ese y abrir la ventilación?
It was nothing. A small task for
Quizás hasta
Miss
encontremos
Rosula.
cadáveres ahí o algo.
Silver, Maloose, it's time to go. I'll be back if I find
Literalmente
anything
esqueletos en
new.
el closet. Bueno, eso es todo. Espera el,
It's time to put
el
our heads
juicio el día
together.
siguiente.
We've got to get our defense ready for the trial. Oh,
¿Hay alguien aquí?
it's probably gonna be a long and difficult case. There's no point in worrying about that now. We just need to prepare.
¿Puedo volver ahí abajo? Sí, sí, sí.
Notes.
No puedo abrir nada o hacer algo sobre esto. Es posible que el criminal saliera por aquí, pero entonces le habría costado mucho llevarse a la chica. ¡Ay, mira el tamaño de esta cosa! Estoy seguro que se las puede arreglar. Ya sea hasta con los dientes, estoy seguro se la pudo haber llevado. Ok, ahora sí. ¿Hasta qué hora era? Entre las 8 y las 10 del día siguiente. No. No, ahí está. ¿No puedo con el scroll wheel? No. Un minuto. Fuck. Ahí está. A mimir. Mentiras sobre el escenario. Oh, ¿el mismo puesto de antes o qué? ¿El juicio va a ser aquí mismo? Creo que algo así habían dicho antes.
Good plan. Impossible things don't just happen. We'll get to the truth one way or another.
Quizás sí debería ver cuáles son las pistas que tenemos. Ok, pistas. Tengo el informe de la guardia. La cuerda que parece que le echaron un material inflamable. Seleccionador de asientos que siempre elige el mismo asiento. La cuerda con gancho. Esto no se me ocurre qué podría ser. Esto se cree que se rompió por forcejeo. Y su ropa. Sigo diciendo que fucked up. Esta es la víctima. Extraño sonido que tuvo. Ah, sí, eso se escuchó incluso en la escena. Sales de entradas, lo del túnel. Estructura del baúl mágico de las gradas. Estructura del baúl mágico del escenario. ¿Cuál es la diferencia? Nadie abandonó de la escena. Ok. Son más bien como hechos de lo que ocurrió. Me faltó algo. O va a ser como dice Attorney, que no llega. Aún no se llega a una conclusión. Entonces, bueno, vamos a dejar esto para mañana. Tienen el resto del día para buscar pruebas. O si es más realista, bueno, aún no hay suficientes pruebas. Tienen hasta la siguiente versión del juego para buscar pruebas. Así como un juicio real.
Just relax. Even if everyone else suspects Lenny and Lynette, at least we will be supporting them from the stands.
Sí, mientras ellos estén en la cárcel también los vamos a seguir apoyando.
Besides, I doubt Farina understands any more about what happened than we do.
Ah, fijo, te escucho.
Navia. Well,
Best of luck to you.
Y fijo, es verdad también.
Ah, finally, you're back. Well, how did your
Oh,
investigation
ya iba a
go?
decir yo, ¿por qué no hay música en el juego? Es que la tengo apagada.
to be honest, you might
Ha
be
sido silencio incómodo
disappointed.
tras silencio incómodo en todo esto.
No. We're already very grateful that you were.
Well, now, don't you all look disappointed? Don't tell me that your investigation came up empty-handed. That was to be expected, of course. The guilty can never produce proof of their innocence.
Estoy a punto de poner música de Ace Attorney. Quizás hasta pueda. A ver, si está el soundtrack de Ace Attorney en Spotify, lo voy a poner. No va a ser mucho para el VOD, pero por mientras, para no estar con un silencio incómodo. Search Ace Attorney. No, creo que eso sirve. Bien. Ok, sigamos.
But don't let that stop you. I shall be terribly disappointed should you, my most anticipated foe, concede so easily.
Espera,
Since
espera.
both parties are present, I declare that the trial regarding the magic show incident is now in session.
Yo sé que no es el mismo actor, pero me recuerda tanto a Edgeworth de Ace
Firstly,
Attorney.
in order for the audience to understand the causes and results of the incident, could we please have Mr. Linney explain the trick?
Yes, of course. I will explain while Lynette demonstrates on stage. All the necessary items have been prepared.
Linney describe muy concisamente cómo hizo su número de magia.
Thank you, Mr. Linney. In that case, I take your statement to be that you ran to and remained hidden within the magic box in the audience stands once the trick began,
Estuvo
and thus
usted en
could
todo
not have
momento en el
committed
baúl
the crime.
mágico que había en
Is
las
this
gradas
correct?
y, por ende, no pudo cometer el crimen, ¿correcto?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
In that case, I call upon the prosecution. Lady Farina, do you wish to refute his statement in any way?
Why, of course I do. Allow me to take the first shot and break this case wide open.
Oh boy.
Mr. Linney is clearly lying. There is no way you could have been in the box the whole time if you were to abduct Halsey and murder Cowell. In fact, I'd say you were hardly in that tunnel at all.
That is simply your hypothesis based on the presumption that I'm guilty.
Oh, is that
I mean,
so?
sí. Es...
And if I may ask, what did you hear while you were inside your box?
The roaring countdown of the crowd, of course. That's how I kept track of the time and built anticipation for the finale.
And you didn't hear anything else at all? Nothing that might leave an impression of any kind?
No, nothing.
I see. But when the count reached 30 seconds or so, there was a thud. One so loud that I
I mean,
believe
eso sí es raro que no lo haya
practically
escuchado.
everyone...
Huh?
Hey,
¿Cómo que? ¿Ah?
hang on.
¿Cómo que?
Not back here.
Yeah, I'm sure he could have heard a noise that loud from inside the box.
I was right by the
Espectador
box, and I
dubitativo.
definitely heard the thud.
Espectador cuestionador. Esos son sus roles específicos. No es solo porque así es como se sienten ahorita, así se sienten siempre. En todo juicio.
Look at those scales. Could those...
Well then, ladies and
Ay, qué
gentlemen,
cerota.
allow me to use the words of the magician himself. You never know what can happen in the blink of an eye. Indeed, it seems his alibi can also collapse in the Of course, I have armed myself to do far more than smash your alibi. Confidence cannot go unfounded, and my foundations are rock solid.
Qué gracioso que todos pensábamos que ella tomaría más bien el rol como de juez. Y está haciendo más de Edgeworth.
Tell
Y el que parece Edgeworth es el
Aren't
que
you and
está de
Lynette
juez.
actually from the House of the Hearth?
The House of the Hearth?
Esa reacción.
No wonder they did something like this.
So the serial disappearances
Whoa,
were the
whoa, whoa,
Fatsoos
hey.
doing.
¿Dónde están las pruebas,
Now it
primero
all
que nada?
makes sense.
I've got a feeling that what happened on stage probably wasn't just an accident.
I mean, obvio, lo que pasó no fue un accidente y fue premeditado,
irrelevant.
pero no.
Our identities have nothing to do with
No hay
what
pruebas
happened.
directas por Lini. Que fue por Lini. I mean, hasta ahora todo apunta que fue Lini, pero esa acusación ahorita de Furin es muy fuerte.
Indeed.
Oh.
Then perhaps
Oh, ni
you could
siquiera es
tell us
mentira.
everything that happened during that 1 minute.
Oh, es cierto, ya recuerdo el contexto de ellos. Son del... ¿Cómo se llama? Son del orfanato de Arlecchino, que es una de los Harbingers.
Your first priority is to prove yourself innocent after all. I'm sure there is little that needs to be kept secret now. Unless your script all...
Oh, perdón, lo solté. ¿Cuándo grito yo?
Outlander
Objection.
is speechless. My, oh my, don't they look flabbergasted? Now comes the infighting and discord, I suppose. Good thing I made all those preparations. Seems the all-nighter I pulled last night is really
no.
paying off.
Oh no, es estúpida. La amo.
Hey, Linny, why didn't you tell us this before?
Vale, quiero ver algo del audio. No. Ok, todo está bien. Quizás le pueda bajar un poquito el juego ahí. Lini y Lynette son fatal.
Order! Order! Mr. Linney, allow me to re-establish the facts. Lady Farina has raised 2 points. First, when the thud was heard in the Opera House, you were neither in the box nor the tunnel. Second, you and Ms. Lynette are both members of the House of the Hearth. Are these claims true?
I mean, en un momento como este, con respecto a lo de la casa de la hoguera, uno podría protestar y decir que es por relevancia. Lo cual, claro, imagino que podrían llegar a un punto usando eso, pero sacarlo así de la nada no funcionaría en un juicio real. Pero claro, el drama. Pues, es cierto, estamos en Fontaine, si es más dramático, es un mejor punto. No hay duda de sus engañosas habilidades de mago y, viendo cómo ha ocultado su identidad, todo lo demás podría haber sido premeditado. Si tanto Noville como unos miembros de la Casa de la Hoguera están en Fontaine, podrían estar tramando algo. Ya he sido víctima de sus complots anteriormente y ahora...
Please answer my question, Mr. Linney.
I'm sorry. Yes,
Sos
they're
un
true,
idiota.
Your Honor.
Oh no.
I knew it.
Ay, antes de esto yo
Well,
estaba
that's
pensando,
it.
ok,
We might as well move
¿cómo
on to the
hago
sentencing
para que
already.
lo culpen? Solo para ver si puedo, porque sería gracioso. Ahora el juego lo está haciendo por mí y ya no está siendo tan gracioso. Con la venia, sí, con la venia.
Granted. In
Bueno,
that
supongo.
case, what is your
El
request?
receso.
Is that really necessary? They're already as good as guilty.
No,
The
usted cierra el
defendant
hocico.
deceived their own attorneys. What is there left to discuss?
Usted también, con todo respeto, cierre su boca, madame. Espectadora decepcionada que son estos
Order!
nombres.
Order, I say! Your request
¿Qué?
is
Perdón,
reasonable,
perdón.
and we shall adjourn. This trial will reconvene in 1 hour.
Ay, gracias,
So
yo hacía hambre.
you would stick to Mr. Linney's defense even after
Qué
knowing what you
canción se
do
puso.
now? You certainly have more professionalism than I thought. In that case, my dear audience, let's allow the joy of victory to steep for a little while longer.
Durante el receso, Lynn y Lynette y ustedes van a los bastidores de la ópera. Ok, primero que nada, Lynn, what the fuck? Ok,
Well,
Lynn, 1,
This
what?
is
Y 2,
awkward.
the fuck?
I didn't think the Hydro Archon would dig all that up.
Ok, una canción más tranquila, veamos. Dije tranquila. Ah, no, all persistent objections es esto. Que no importa.
I'm sorry, Traveler and Paimon.
Yeah, sorry.
Yere,
Just
yere,
know where to
dice.
start. We trusted you two.
How dare you?
We based our entire reasoning on the assumption that you weren't bad guys. Not to set the wrong tone or anything, but Paimon's really mad.
I'm very sorry. I know you're angry, and reasonably
No
so,
se
but
molesto.
please,
Solo
let me
decepcionado.
explain. I know you've clashed with the Vatui several times before. I wouldn't be surprised if just hearing the word is enough to make you upset.
Güey, ¿cómo se sabe de mis peleas con los Fatui?
But our organization is very, very large, and the Harbingers have very different personalities and goals.
Ok. Si es así, compróbalo diciéndome cómo está Mslet. Ujú.
Right now, we want to
No,
save
no, no me
people,
cambies el tema.
as many as we can.
That's right. I'm sure we're on the same page when it comes to this nation and the disaster that its people might face.
Sí, me pregunto lo que piensa tu madre de chino.
I knew if it weren't for our respective identities, we could become good friends. That's why I didn't wish to flat out lie to you, but chose to hide some details instead. The truth is very important, but
No
being
les
completely
mentí, solo no
transparent
les
about
dije toda
everything
la
would see
verdad.
us spending more effort than we need to.
No mames.
Right. So, you be the judge. Heck, if I were you, I fear that I'd even struggle to trust me at this point.
Culiao.
You met a Fatus who works as a magician, a trickster by trade. All by coincidence, too.
Su listón no está conectado a su cuerpo.
But still, I'm asking you to trust me. I am no criminal. At least, not in this case.
Sorry. Please forgive us.
Well, you both say that, but...
Denme un minuto.
Right, let's hear your answer first, and no lies now!
Of course. I'll answer any question you ask. We've been trying to find out how the Oratrice operates. We want to know why it has a consciousness. Why can it deliver sentences accurately? During our investigations,
eso es
we
lo que
learned
tenemos
that
que
the
descubrir
machine's
ahora.
core is beneath it. From that moment on, Lynette and I have been designing this box swap trick, with the objective of getting close to the core.
Is that why you needed a whole minute?
That's right. In truth, the audience would take about 75 seconds to count down from 60, while I would only need 15 to get to the opposite box. So, after jumping into the tunnel, I accessed the Opera House basement via the vent, and went to investigate the room in which the core is stored.
That air vent was created during the construction of the tunnel specifically to execute this step.
Well, nothing. As soon as I reached that room and was about to investigate, I heard someone's voice, which should have been impossible, of course. I was quite certain that I was the only one in the room. That voice seemed to recognize me and tried to speak to me. I chose to err on the side of caution and retreated the way I came.
Así que por eso no escucho el ruido ese.
On the way back, I saw the broken vase and the clothes on the ground, but the countdown was almost finished, so there wasn't time to give it any thought.
Había una persona muerta, pero el show debía continuar.
After that, the homicide occurred just as you saw.
Well, that explains why you didn't hear the thud.
Because of that prophecy I told you about, of course. We must know all we can about this nation's secrets in order to deal with that prophesized crisis.
That's the only way we can save everyone.
So, there you have it. The whole truth. I swear, I didn't hide anything from you this time.
Así dijiste la última vez.
It was never my wish to proceed under this cloud of mistrust either. But like I said earlier, you can be the judge. If you want to leave because you don't trust the Fatui, there's nothing I can do to stop you.
I mean, hay una que otra cara bonita en los Fatui, yo no voy a juzgar. Yo no soy así, yo no tengo enemigos. Nadie tiene enemigos. Nadie merece ser lastimado. Creo en la verdad. Y la verdad, pues... no hay... Aquí entre nos, ¿no hay un puesto abierto entre los Fatui? ¿No?
Okay, thank you.
Thanks for giving us a chance.
The current problem is
Ahora
that
puedo
the
encender la
skills are
música
set
del
pretty
juego,
badly
por favor.
against you
Realmente
two.
la cagué.
If we want to refute the Hydro Archon's accusations, we're gonna need a seriously watertight defense.
Ya tenemos las pruebas clave. Y entre esas pruebas hay un... De hecho, hay otro crimen que cometió Lini, ahora que lo pienso. Si construyó esa cosa... O sea, ese túnel para llegar al núcleo de la balanza esa. Eso no cuenta como breaking in a una zona no autorizada. Bueno, eso es algo para otro juicio.
Oh, Paimon thinks...
Tras entrar en el túnel, Lini llegó a la sala del núcleo del analizador a través del conducto de ventilación. Por ello, no fue testigo de lo ocurrido y tampoco escuchó el extraño sonido que se produjo. Al mismo tiempo, acaba de romper otro crimen, pero eso es para otro juicio. Lini escuchó una misteriosa voz procedente de la sala subterránea de la ópera, en la que se encuentra el núcleo de la analizadora. ¡Bien! Gracias. Ya puedo cerrar Spotify. Audio, música. Ahí está, quiero escuchar qué música ponen para el juicio. Genial, música de iglesia. Prosigue con el juicio. Objection. Oh, no era el momento.
Both parties have returned to their positions. Let us continue the trial. When last we left off, Mr. Linney acknowledged the new evidence presented by Lady Farina as fact. Therefore, Lady Farina may continue stating her reconstruction of the events.
That took long enough. Now then, if everyone would lend me their attention.
Neil.
At this stage, let's revisit that scene from Linney's perspective.
Dios, esa cara tan estúpida, la amo. Encuentra las fallas en la lógica. ¡Oh, esto es como Edgeworth! Uy, ese es como el juego ese de Edgeworth. ¿Cuál era su primer nombre? Creo que Miles. Refuta los sucesos que no pueden ser ciertos con la ayuda de las pruebas y las pistas recopiladas en el expediente del caso. Esto hará que se sustituyan por otras deducciones distintas. Usa tus refutaciones para convencer al público y conseguir su apoyo. La analizadora mostrará estos cambios con claridad. Ok, ¿puedo incriminar a Lini a propósito? Pregunta seria. Completarás el ciclo de refutación y descubrirás la verdad. Y descubrirás la verdad una vez que hayas refutado todas las alegaciones que no pueden ser ciertas. Ok, siento que ese sistema está hecho para que no pueda. Pero, y no me cae mal Lini, solo pienso que sería muy gracioso. A menos que le den la pena de muerte. Entonces sería hilarante.
When the flatbed trolley passed, he opened the box and got into an altercation with Halsey, which caused the loud thud. He did not realize that this sound could be heard by everyone in the opera house, which is why he claimed earlier that he could not hear the sound. Finally, he used the vase to knock her out, before making her change clothes to prevent others from recognizing her. At this time, Cowell arrived in the tunnel, having heard that strange noise, and caught Linny red-handed. So Linny proceeded to knock him out too before stuffing him into that box. Afterward,
Le hizo un nuke.
Lenny passed the unconscious Halsey to his accomplice through the magic box in the audience stands, before operating the devices such that Cowell's death would be ruled an accident.
Su señoría no encontró fallas en su lógica. Adelante.
And there you have it. That's the truth behind what happened.
Does the defendant's side have any objections to Lady Farina's description of the events?
No, su señoría. ¿Qué prosigue?
The key to refuting Lady Farina is the order of events, what Lenny experienced and what he saw.
Ok. Veamos. Ah, no puedo. No hay opción para... Ok. Lenny entró en el túnel cuando comenzó la cuenta regresiva. ¿Hay algo? Ah, tras entrar en el túnel, Lenny... Eso técnicamente sería aquí. ¿Verdad?
According to Lenny, he
Ah,
left via
nice,
the
la primera.
vent after entering the tunnel. He couldn't have had that altercation with Halsey.
Objection. Ahora, ¿qué pasa si uso una wea random? La ropa.
Seems this won't produce.
Ah, no. Ah, puedo ir. O sea, puede ir uno por uno hasta que encuentre el correcto. Ok, ¿cuál era ese? Entrar en el túnel. Durante el transcurso del espectáculo se escuchó un fuerte golpe, el cual llegaron a oír muchos espectadores. El juego directamente te dice cuál es. Lenny escuchó una misteriosa voz procedente de la sala subterránea de la ópera de la que se encuentra el núcleo de la analizadora. ¿Oh no? Oh no es. Ok. Nadie abandonó la escena durante el espectáculo. Tras el incidente, solo aquellos cuya identidad ya había sido verificada por igual podían... Ok, me siento estúpido. Oh, ni uno de estos es. Supongo porque esto sí es un hecho. Ok. Lenny secuestra a Halsey. Esto definitivamente no es un hecho. Lenny dejó inconsciente a Halsey golpeándola con el jarrón y le quitó parte de la ropa para que no pudieran identificarla. Sin embargo, ¿estaba realmente Lenny en el túnel en aquel momento? ¡No! Estaba en el núcleo, esa cosa.
Lenny went to the room that contains the Oratrice's core.
Lo que ocurrió realmente es que
This
Lenny
is the
fue a la
actual
sala donde
truth.
se guarda el núcleo de la analizadora. Puedo ver los dibujos, están bonitos. Lenny dejó inconsciente a Cowell. Cowell sorprendió a Lenny con las manos en la masa, así que este le golpeó con un jarrón, lo que lo dejó inconsciente y dio pie a su posterior muerte. Las pruebas apuntan a que cuando Lenny volvió, el incidente ya había ocurrido. El único que vio fue... Se escucharon fuerte... Por motivos que aún se desconocen, la ropa de Halsey, seguro que al verla, Lenny se quedó desconcertado. Supongo que sí, fue usado. Nadie abandonó, no, tiene que ser esta.
Lenny did not take part in the underground altercation. He only witnessed traces of the aftermath.
Pero no hay pruebas sobre eso.
Attention! Ace Detective Paimon has something
Tampoco
to say.
hay pruebas que Lenny hizo todo lo que hizo Farina, pero tampoco hay pruebas de lo que estamos diciendo. Son solo los hechos como él lo está contando.
When the countdown started, Lenny did indeed go into the tunnel. But he immediately used a vent to access the Opera House basement, which is where the underground core of the Oratrice is stored. Once he reached that area, he heard a voice in what should have been an empty room. Since he felt something was amiss, he returned immediately. The crime scene had already developed by the time he reached the tunnel again, and in order to complete the magic trick, he did not remain there for any length of time.
Inúbil cuando terminemos esto. Muy bien, entiendo. Solo una pregunta. ¿Qué hacía el señor Lenny en esa habitación que es solo para personal autorizado, cosa que él no es, y por ende acaba de traspasar en una zona prohibida para él? Que es penado a 10 años de prisión.
Finally, he reached the surface, and that was when the accident happened from his point of view. Therefore, he's innocent.
Bueno. Me van a preguntar, source,
Paimon did it!
fuente de los deseos.
Managed to say all that!
In other words, you believe that he knew nothing of the incident?
That's right!
Además, hay fallos en las conclusiones de la acusación.
My reasoning?
Alguien manipuló de forma premeditada los objetos del escenario. Dice que Cowell se encontró por casualidad con Linny.
If that's the case, then if Cowell hadn't entered the tunnel, who was the entire setup meant to kill? Assuming that what you say is true, Linny only needed to kidnap the young girl to cause a new disappearance case. What would the point of killing someone on stage be?
Ya me imagino el lenguaje corporal que estaba usando la actriz de Paimon en todo esto.
Oh.
Hay una imagen de eso en Twitter y es tan buena.
That's right, you tell him! And that's why they're partners of mine.
Oh, well, your denial is very strident, I'll give you that. But what proof do you have to back your claims?
¿Y cuáles son tus pruebas, Calois? ¿Acaso no recuerdas lo que hiciste con la cortada de Linny? ¿No recuerdas cómo fue lo mismo?
Of course I do. If he had been in the magic box the whole time, how could he have not heard that sound? You're saying that he wasn't?
Tu alegato se ha convertido en mi arma. Tu alegato se ha convertido en una pista. Wow. Oh, shit. Oh, ok, por fin. ¿Qué pasa si uso cualquiera? Tin Marín de Doping Way. Oh, ok. Tin Marín de Doping Way.
Are you sure we don't need to give this
Oh.
more thought?
Ok. Sigo entre estos dos. Extraño sonido que tuvo lugar durante el espectáculo. Durante el transcurso del espectáculo se escuchó un fuerte golpe, el cual llegaron a oír muchos espectadores. Salidas y entradas de la ópera. Nadie abandonó la escena durante el espectáculo. Tras el incidente, solo aquellos cuya identidad ya había sido verificada por la guardia podían abandonar el recinto. Oh, aquí. No. ¿Cuál era la pregunta, profe? Ok, tiene que ser uno de estos dos.
That's right!
Aha!
Linny wasn't in the box
Take
or
that!
in the tunnel. That's why he didn't hear anything strange during the performance. This means that when the crime happened, Linny had already entered the basement via the vent. The same
No,
clue
y yo
used
sigo
to disprove
preguntándome
his
qué hacía
alibi
él ahí.
has now become the best proof. How do you like that?
Well played.
To think you'd use such logic. Well then, if it wasn't Linny who committed the crimes, then who was it?
Eso no es problema nuestro. No me tires esto de... ¿What? ¿Yo cómo voy a saber? Oh, no. No me tiren a Ace Attorney. Eso no es problema mío. A mí qué me importa quién es el verdadero asesino. Yo solo tengo que probar que mi cliente no lo hizo. Escoge las respuestas y rellena todos los engranajes vacíos para comprobar si tu deducción es correcta o no. Si te equivocas en algo, deberás escoger algo distinto entre las opciones que quedan. Déjenme equivocarme y que tenga repercusiones. Completarás la deducción en cadena una vez que hayas respondido correctamente a todas las preguntas. Ok. Todos serios. Focus mode. Informe de la guardia. Según la investigación de la guardia, los fuegos artificiales que explotaron cuando el espectáculo iba a terminar quemaron la cuerda que sostenía el tanque de agua. Esto provocó que el tanque se precipitara contra el baúl mágico en el que se encontraba Cowell, causándole la muerte. Descartando a Linny como sospechoso, los únicos que podrían haber manipulado las herramientas mágicas son los demás miembros del grupo de magia. Linny explicó... ¿No puede hacer nada con esto? Linny explicó cómo hizo el número de magia. Envió a través de un túnel el baúl de doble fondo en el que estaba la espectadora, y él también llegó al otro lado por medio del túnel. Mientras tanto, en el escenario, Lynette se cambió de ropa para cumplir con su papel de ayudante. Por motivos que aún se desconocen, la ropa de Halsey, la chica desaparecida, estaba tirada en el túnel. Bueno, hablando del túnel, por lo menos esto responde por qué no pudo haber escapado el asesino por ahí, pero al mismo tiempo qué raro que nosotros no hayamos abierto ahí, porque sigue siendo sospechoso, puede haber una prueba ahí. ¿Cuál era este?
Could there have been a third person involved? Halsey is the missing person and an ordinary audience member. Or did she
Era un
have her own
suicidio
scheme
porque era
all along?
parte de una familia abusiva y fingió su muerte. Entonces no fue un suicidio, solo se escapó con el hombre de sus sueños.
The deceased's
Cowell,
name is
que
Cowell,
se
Linny's
murió.
assistant. He would have been able to
Necesito unos
tamper
minutos
with
más.
the
Voy a
equipment.
volver al drawing board. Let me cook. Obviamente Lenny también pudo manipular los objetos del escenario. A ver, ¿quién pudo haber cometido el crimen? ¿La víctima o alguien que no sabemos? ¿Ah? Oh, ok. Gracias, juego. Realmente me siento estúpido ahora.
The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant. He...
That can't be right.
Yo sé que
Are
no.
you serious? The killer was, in fact, Cowell!
Oh, is that so? How interesting! Let's hear your reasoning then.
Yo también quiero escucharla, ¿qué?
What I must do next is recreate the truth. What Cowell did, and how he went from would-be perpetrator to victim.
Ok. ¿Cómo se podría saber que Lenny no interfirió en el crimen? Por esto.
It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into Linny as well.
¿Cómo se podría demostrar que hubo una pelea en el túnel?
The sound we heard may
Claro.
have come from a clash between the
¿Quién es el principal sospechoso en este momento? Pues, a ver, depende, porque según el juicio es él. Pero según nosotros es
The
él.
deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant.
¿Dónde está Halsey, la desaparecida?
No one entered or left the opera house through its entrances. So where would the criminal have wanted to take Halsey? It would have been tough for both people to... No one entered or...
O sea, sigue. Uy. Oh, dos cosas. ¿Cómo se podría saber que Lenny no intervino en el crimen? ¿Que no es
No
eso?
one entered or left the...
¿Y dónde está?
It would have been tough for
¿Será
both
que era al
people to
revés?
fit into that vent.
¿O qué es
Linny
esto?
was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave up...
Oh, ¿será que Lenny tenía que ponerlo aquí?
No one entered or left the opera house through its... Linny was not in the tunnel at that...
¿Dónde está Halsey, la desaparecida?
It would have been tough for both people to fit into that vent. They would likely have bumped into Linny as well.
Entonces, ¿qué en este momento? ¿Esto qué es?
Halsey's clothing was in the tunnel, so there must have been...
Oh, es solo este. Ok, pero el primero sí era lo que pensaba.
would
Pues
have been
está en
tough
el
for
túnel.
both-
Ve la ventilación. Entonces, ¿cómo decía? Uy, se fue el internet. ¿No? ¿Qué pasó? Ah, no, ahí está. El criminal conocía los secretos tras el número de Lenny y debía poder manipular fácilmente los objetos del escenario. Además, independientemente de que Cowell haya muerto, tenía a su disposición todos los medios para cometer el crimen. Es muy posible que el extraño ruido que se oyó durante el espectáculo lo causara el enfrentamiento entre Cowell y Halsey. Lenny no estuvo en el túnel durante ese minuto, pero Cowell podría haber sacado a Halsey del baúl del baúl que había en las gradas. Según el testimonio de la guardia, en ese momento nadie salió o entró de la ópera, así que Cowell no podía haberse marchado aunque quisiera. Por no hablar de haberlo hecho, es imposible que el público no lo viera.
What's wrong, Traveler? Are you still having trouble figuring things out?
Sí, la verdad solo dije por decirlo. No tengo ni idea de qué estoy haciendo. Sobre todo porque se está yendo el internet. ¡Ah! ¡Ayuda! ¡Ayuda!
I see how it is. So this was all just a bluff. And here I thought you had something to show for it. But it seems you're still far from the truth.
Look, since we're at a dead end, why not consider a different track?
Otro receso, por favor.
Just like the trick as it transpired, the end result must have been utterly different from the magician's initial design.
If only we knew how Halsey disappeared.
Well, that would be nice, but the tunnel only has 3 exits, and none of them seem very lucky. And it's not like this is a magic trick where you can just make a real live person disappear. You know.
Excuse my interruption, dear opponent.
Furina es la
But
culpable.
do you not see that the crowd is growing impatient? There is no greater sin in this opera house than an awkward delay in the performance.
No hay ofensa más grande que un silencio incómodo. True. Por eso les cagué al principio. Ah, bollocks.
If the defense is unable to make further effective arguments, we will move on to the next stage of the trial.
Objection!
Linny was not in the tunnel at that moment, which gave our criminal ample time. The sound we heard may have come from a clash between the missing Halsey and the criminal. The deceased's name is Cowell, Linny's assistant.
¿Dónde está Halsey, la desaparecida? ¿No es esto?
The vase was not broken by chance. It was used to cover important evidence. The water.
Water. The water and water, 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 water and water. Water and water and water.
Paimon gets it! It all comes together if Halsey disappeared instead of being kidnapped. Lynette escaped from the water tank, vanishing gradually and leaving only clothes behind. If there's a similar method where a person could be transformed into water...
Oh, just a moment, please. I do hope you know how preposterous you sound at the moment.
I don't know, tengo una amiga que hace eso. Creo que es esta de
How could a
Fontaine. Bueno, me
person
chistes.
ever be transformed into water? This is reality we're talking about here, not some magic trick.
I mean, tenemos visions. Bueno, yo no, pero es más, ni tengo vision ni puedo hacer eso. O parecidos. Las encontramos dentro de las pertenencias de Cowell.
Must we really?
I mean, se supone que eso se hace en un juicio real. Revisar todas las pertenencias. Para buscar evidencia. ¿Qué putas?
Magic tricks are ultimately just illusions and misdirection. But Halsey's disappearance is very real.
No
We're talking about two
Even so, I trust the traveler's judgment.
No por nada soy Waterstorm GX. Yo sé de lo
The
que
truth
hablo.
must be
Yo
out there
soy el verdadero Hydra.
Perhaps some new line of reasoning may open if we try to gather all the focal points that don't make sense. Since Cal was the deceased, we haven't placed much attention on him. But given that we aren't making much progress with the case, it wouldn't hurt to have a look at his belongings, would it?
People really do come up with all sorts of harebrained schemes when at the end of their rope.
Bueno, ese es el
The way
espíritu
I
humano.
see it, your suggestion that we broaden the scope of our investigation is nothing but a tactic for stalling the trial.
Nevertheless, I believe that this is a reasonable request on the part of an attorney. Since the trial does indeed appear to be at an
En
impasse,
español sí están
I
usando
believe
bastantes
that
términos
additional
reales de
evidence
juicio.
may help us make more progress. Guards, please step into the lounge and examine the personal effects of the deceased, Cowell.
We are still examining the items, but we have already made critical progress that we feel must be shared with everyone post-haste. We discovered several test tubes of fluid within Cowell's baggage, each
Ew.
labeled separately.
¿Por qué fluids y no agua?
The notebook in his backpack claims that these fluids are water from the primordial sea.
The primordial sea?
The note's contents
that?
also indicate that Cowell belonged to an organization that
Where's that,
sells illegal
economía?
drugs and that he had an accomplice.
Ah, perdón, no leí eso. Porque esto sigue sin cargar.
The notebook has many entries concerning safe usage of these fluids, in which the keyword dissolve appears many times. One of these tubes was labeled Opera Epiclese, along with yesterday's date. It is empty. The notes also state that these dissolution properties work exclusively on people from Fontaine. It's likely that Halsey was chosen as some sort of test subject.
Solo la gente de
As such,
Fontaine.
we believe that the defense's
¿Qué
hypothesis
tienen de
is,
especial lo de
in
Fontaine?
fact,
Los
supported
de
by
Fontaine.
sufficient evidence.
You gotta be kidding! People dissolving into water?
Sí, vos podés al parecer. Ya que solo es para la gente de
Could
Fontaine.
something so ridiculous actually be true?
Wait a moment. This reminds me of a certain prophecy, but it's just a coincidence, isn't it?
Oh, es cierto. Los mitos y leyendas.
Water. Does that mean that the water tank's real use was as a means to hide water stains? And if Cowell was targeting that girl... Wait just a minute. Could that mean... You two.
Demoiselle, wait! What about your partners?
Fuck
Let's go. Just trust me.
Order! Order! It is undeniable that further examination of the deceased's personal effects has yielded some surprising results. Still, let us assume that these clues are indeed authentic, albeit with the understanding that Ms. Halsey has yet to be found. Guards, please continue examining the items along these lines.
Qué feliz está. Bien, por fin. Estoy haciendo un buen trabajo.
Mr. Linney, it appears your
Mamá estará
hypothesis
tan
is supported
orgullosa.
by the evidence. So please...
Of course. Thank you, Your Honor. If we uphold this hypothesis,
Bien,
I believe
no
that
me van a
many of
tirar
this
a la
case's
guillotina aún.
seemingly unrelated clues can be connected together.
Right! Like the metal hook! That one didn't make sense at all. Let's think about this. Cowell's methods must have something to do with that water from the...
Agua del primigenio. Un líquido que la guardia encontró entre las pertenencias de Cowell. Parece que es capaz de disolver el cuerpo de la gente de Fontaine y convertirlo en agua. Oh, ok, seguimos. ¿Quién es el principal sospechoso en ese momento?
The
Es Cowell.
deceased's name is Cowell.
Ajá. ¿Qué objeto utilizó el asesino para controlar el momento en el que disolver a la joven? Para controlar el momento. No qué usó para disolverla, qué usó para controlar el momento.
Lynette was in the magic
¿Qué es
box
esto?
on stage
¿Estructura
the
de voz?
entire time. Did she have something to do with this? The rope that held the water tank up was lit by the fireworks and snapped.
No, eso no podría ser.
As such, the focus here is on...
¿Cuál es
I
este?
remember there was something else within the inner layer of that
¡Oh! El conteo. ¿Qué objeto utilizó el asesino para disolver a Halsey? Esto
The
sí.
water from the primordial sea should already...
¿O qué es? ¿Cuál es el
Now
objeto?
it seems
¿Cuál
like
es
the
la
hook rope
descripción de
was
esto?
not
Para ver si es
meant for
aquí.
another magic
Ahora que lo
trick,
pienso, ¿y si el
but was
gancho no era un
instead some
objeto del
form of
número de magia, sino un
triggering
mecanismo
mechanism?
activable? A ver.
The water
Aún así,
from
voy a
the
poner este.
primordial
Y si
sea
este
should
no
already
es
have been
correcto, esto
prepped
sería el
before
gancho.
Halsey-
¿Qué objeto utilizó el asesino para esconder el mecanismo con el que cometió el asesinato? Ah, eso técnicamente... ¿Qué objeto utilizó el asesino para esconder el mecanismo con el que cometió el... ¿O sería uno de los baúles? ¿Verdad? Porque estoy pensando más en el jarrón, pero...
The water from the primordial sea should... Lynette was in
esto?
the magic box on stage the entire time. Did she have something to do with this?
¿Esto técnicamente? Ok, son estos dos. Entonces esto bien podría ser el
Now it
gancho.
seems like the hook rope was not me-
Y esto que utilizó, entonces
I
era al
remember
revés.
there was-
Ajá.
Ahem. It's
Ay.
Ace Detective Paimon's time to ship in the
Pero yo organicé todo.
Howell would tamper with the water tank rope and the number selector securing his target. When the magic box containing Halsey was lowered, the metal hook would retract gradually and pierce the balloon at the top of the box. When the balloon attached to the box popped, the water from the primordial seed inside it would pour down and dissolve Halsey.
¿Tenemos pruebas de eso? Más que solo los objetos, porque este es solo como una hipótesis.
To conceal the water inside the tunnel, with the remaining evidence being covered up by the water tank on stage. But he encountered something unexpected in the tunnel, and wound up being fatally hit by the same water tank he meant to use to cover his tracks.
Huh. That does make sense.
Ok. ¿Sabes qué? Me sirve.
That actually links together a lot of the more confusing pieces of evidence.
Vos no eres la espectadora dubitativa. No cambies tus roles en medio.
Oh dear, what do I do? Even I think they sound convincing now. Have I falsely accused an innocent person? What a humiliation.
Ella estaba tan segura que Lini lo había hecho que sin pensarlo dos veces lo acusó. Pero dice, carnada fácil.
Now, it seems like the only point of contention remaining is the exact circumstances that led to Cal's death. His notes mentioned he had an accomplice who could be related to the situation.
Oh, se encontró
On
con más.
that note, the guards have just contacted me indicating that they uncovered new evidence. I shall now invite him on stage to share it with us.
Thank you, Your Honor. We were just inspecting the luggage of the other people involved, and we found an identical sample of the water from the primordial sea among Linny's personal effects.
What?
That can't be. Oh, I see. Well, how wonderfully comedic to have your own counterattack only to come back and wound you. Does this not clear all doubt?
No necesariamente.
My dear citizens, my loyal audience, allow me to present my reasoning and bring this performance to a swift close.
Ok, fuck me. Adelante. Ah, shit.
Linny did not need to take part in the dissolution of the young woman at all. Indeed, he did leave the scene via the vent. Having made modifications to the props beforehand, his accomplice Cowell then caused Halsey to vanish using the water from the primordial sea. But upon his return, in cruel avarice, Linny desired so ultimately, he knocked Cowell out, and the tool meant to cover the crime up also became a murder weapon. Now, as much as I regret having come to such a viciously straightforward conclusion, it does seem that the famed Fatui is quite the cold-blooded and ruthless organization.
Eso ya es racially motivated.
Am I right, Mr. Linny?
We've used up
Eso fue
all the
racista, pero
evidence we
tienes razón.
collected.
Pero tienes razón.
There's no way for us to make a rebuttal here.
Nah,
Is this
fuck it.
the end of the
Lenny,
road?
lo siento. Ahí te voy a enviar unos pósters cuando estés en prisión. Shit.
Oh no. Paimon can't think of anything either. It doesn't look like there's any way around this. Seems using the water as new evidence was too good a move.
Y aquí es cuando entra Nadia estilo Phoenix Wright gritando ¡Objection!
I think we've all seen enough now, and we have ample witnesses to my flawless reasoning.
Oh yes, quite flawless indeed.
I believe
Shut up.
this is indeed the finale.
Well, can't do shit.
Now then, my good, noble Chief Justice, should we not, in your view, move...
Excuse me, everyone, but I must interject.
No, you have to say objection.
Miss, I must ask you not to shout.
Como
and to
yo lo
respect
estoy haciendo
the
ahora.
ongoing legal proceedings.
Oh, come on. Don't be hasty. I have a good
Oh,
reason for
cállese, sí.
interrupting, you know. Now, Would anyone here like to take a little break from all this debate and see a little magic?
Nah, bien, no es el momento.
I'll show you an amazing trick. One that can bring a young woman who has disappeared back in the flesh, right before your very...
What in the world?
No offense, miss, but miracles like that are beyond my scope as a magician.
No es por ofenderla, pero ¿de qué putas está hablando?
Come on now, don't be silly. Magic is all about misdirection, isn't it? It often conceals the truth while presenting a fascinating illusion. But once everyone believes the illusion, can't magic reveal the truth to them? And wouldn't such a trick be the most marvelous finale to today's performance? Come on, Lenny and Lynette. Give it another go. Don't worry.
Para mí es increíble que Nubile no la haya callado todavía.
But as the magic makers and stars of the show, I think I should leave the fight.
I understand.
And voila.
Sorry for the interruption.
Wait, isn't that Halsey?
¿Cuánto tiempo pasó desde el juicio? Si ha sido más, no creo que haya sido más de un día, pero no tiene hambre. ¿O sed?
To be clear, I'm only here because this person told me that if I testified, the merit of doing so would lessen my sentence. I was hiding outside this room listening to the proceedings because I was afraid that I would be the one put on trial. I was just feeling happy that no one had noticed me. And then before I knew it, she caught me.
That'll teach you to underestimate us three.
Where should I begin? I'm sorry.
What? Why?
Qué bonita canción esta de fondo.
Firstly, my name isn't Halsey. It's Lillian, and I'm originally from Mondstadt.
Alemana.
I heard that Linny's show was gonna be a real thriller, but I missed the chance to buy a ticket, so I stole one. That's how I make a living. I steal stuff here and there. And I'd never been caught before.
Oh, Thief Class. Es un RPG. Es un trabajo honrado.
But I was noticed at the
Yo
harbor
solía ser
a
un
few
thief
days
en mis
ago,
días de Final
and I
Fantasy.
barely got away. Lenny was the one who
Puerto
caught me in the act.
Lo leí como Puerto Rico.
Hey, no wonder you look familiar. So you were the thief.
No, ni me había fijado.
Liddy even mentioned that you were pretty skilled.
Well, and I thought that would have been the end of it, but then the number selector chose me. He even mentioned the Fortress of Meripede. That's a prison, isn't it? So you can imagine how shocked I was. I thought he was onto me for sure. So I played along with the show while looking for an opening to flee.
Y al no, esto está dejando mala imagen al Lenny, más bien.
And then someone jumped into the tunnel to nab me.
I mean, es inocente ahora, pero puede que culpable de otros cargos.
I wasn't going to take that lying down, so I knocked him out and stuffed him into the box. There was nowhere to run from there, though, so I had to change my clothes and hide in a box containing performance costumes. I slipped out after the first guard arrived at the scene and continued hiding inside the opera house.
Can a person even hide in there?
I mean,
but I
si es un
swear,
thief,
I didn't know that the
debe
water
saber una
tank
que
would
otra
fall
cosa.
down. Really, I swear it. Had I known that, I wouldn't have put him in the magic
Eso
box.
sigue siendo...
I may be
Igual
a
le
thief,
caerían cargos de
but I'm no
manslaughter.
killer.
Well, that makes everything pretty clear now.
Muy claro que técnicamente, ¿cómo es la palabra? Indirectamente mató a una persona, que sí hay cargos contra eso. No son muy fuertes como realmente un asesinato premeditado. ¿Así? ¿Premeditado? Creo. No sería un cargo tan grande como eso, pero igual la meterían a la cárcel. De eso no hay de otra.
This time, we need to tell the entire story from Lily-Ann's perspective.
I mean, creo que eso es más trabajo del juez. Porque ella ya acaba de confesar al crimen. Ok. Tras comenzar la cuenta regresiva, Lenny se entró en el túnel, luego salió de él a través del conducto de ventilación antes que tuviera lugar el intento de disolver la joven. Halsey se disuelve. Cowell había planeado utilizar uno de los objetos del espectáculo para disolver a Halsey dentro del baúl mágico. Puesto que Halsey ha aparecido sana y salva frente al público, la suposición de Furina ya no es plausible. ¿Cuál fue la reacción de la joven cuando el agua del mar primigenio se derramó? Ah, no.
See.
Bueno, no, sí tengo que usar algo de aquí.
The strange sound wasn't from a fight. It was Lily-Ann's attempt to break out when she was frightened.
Lini y Cowell se pelean. Lini pensaba deshacerse de su socio para ser la única estrella del espectáculo. Puesto que Halsey apareció sana y salva frente al público, la suposición de Frena es plausible. Sin embargo, hay pruebas que apuntan que sí hubo una pelea en el túnel. Eso, el jarrón.
The flower vase was not broken to cover anything up, but was...
Lini deja inconsciente, probablemente lo mismo. ¿Qué prueba hay para refutar esto?
Lily-Ann was afraid that she would be recognized if she left, so she changed clothes and hid.
That's right, Uncle.
And it's Ace Detective! Having been selected out of the blue, Lily-Ann panicked. Her panic only intensified after she entered the tunnel and had water poured on her head. So she kicked the door open, producing the thud we all heard. Hearing the commotion, Cowell leapt into the tunnel, only to discover that he did not know that Lily-Ann was not from Fontaine, but was a thief who made her way in by stealing a ticket. Mistakenly believing that the water from the primordial sea needed time to take effect, he tried to force Lily-Ann back into the box. The two broke the flower vase during the struggle, but Lily-Ann came out on top, knocking Cowell out and putting him in the box. With no way of escaping, she changed her clothes and hid in the costume trunk until the performance ended.
That's right, bestie. Perdón, no vuelvo a decir algo así.
She knew that she would have to go through guard inspection if she tried to leave afterward. So, she has been trapped in the Opera House these last 2 days.
Sin agua o comida.
She had already become desperately hungry by the time we were chatting over macarons. So, she swiped 2 of them right under our noses.
No me jodas que nadie notó eso.
Sneaky thief.
At this point, all the events that happened in the tunnel have now come to light.
Bueno, ahora sabemos que Paimon también es inocente.
Ah, so that's the whole story.
Bravo!
Bravo!
Bien, una persona está muerta. Encontramos a un asesino.
Do you wish to speak against the defense's statements?
Como final de película de niño. Que el villano es brutalmente asesinado. Todos los personajes. Yeah.
Please answer the question, Lady Farina. Also, if I may add, the trial has not yet ended. As such, I request that the prosecution not leave the room before the proceedings have concluded.
What? Are you reading my mind now? No. I have no further.
¿Quiero escucharlo más fuerte?
I admit defeat. But really, could you at least have left me with some dignity?
No.
Wow. Look at that. She's like a deflated balloon now.
You'll have to see it.
If there are no objections, then as the Chief Justice of Fontaine, I shall once again repeat the full sequence of events.
Ya lo escuchamos.
The actual perpetrator of the serial disappearances, Cowell, selected his next victim from the audience reservation list. With some modifications to the selector, he could ensure that the pre-selected young woman would be chosen. To cover up any evidence while committing the deed, Cowell thought of allowing the water tank to fall, which would conceal the water left behind after the young woman was dissolved. He also tampered with the rope suspending the water tank, using the fireworks at the end of the performance to cause the tank to drop and hide the watermarks. He poured the water from the primordial sea into a balloon during the preparation of the magic box and stuck it to the box's lid. Finally, he passed the prepared hook on a rope through the gap in the magic box's door when bringing the young woman to said box. When the magic trick officially began, the box containing the woman was lowered into the tunnel, tightening the hook rope and bursting the balloon containing the water. If all had gone to plan, the young woman would be dissolved at this time. However, Lillian was not from Fontaine, and thus fled the box with a loud noise.
Lo estoy dejando hablar solo porque, oh my god, qué pije voz.
Realizing that there was trouble, Cowell entered the tunnel and met Lillian. Thinking that the waters had not yet taken effect, he decided to proceed. However, his opponent was more capable than he thought, and he was overcome, knocked unconscious, and placed into the magic box. And thus, Lillian, according to her own statements, then changed clothes and hid until the performance ended, before hiding in other parts of the opera house. As for Linny, he was in the underground structures within the opera house, and was thus ignorant of these happenings. From this reconstruction of events, we can conclude that Linny, the accused, is in fact innocent.
No, como en ese Attorney, ¿dónde está el confeti?
While there is much in Linny and Lillian's conduct that should still be investigated separately,
Sabía.
this case at least can be handed over to the Oratrice to make the final decision.
Oh, wait a minute, yo he visto esa animación antes. Ah, es solo 4-star. Un 3-star de Star Rail, no se cae.
As such, Linny and Lynette are officially declared not
Este papel no dice si es un inocente o culpable, solo la cuenta de todo este juicio. ¿Cuánto van a cobrar de luz por eso? An ace attorney.
Great
If
work, partners.
I could agree.
Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Aún no canten
Next,
victoria. Los van a meter presos bajo
an
otros cargos.
explanation, Guard Vaughn. How did you find the water from the primordial sea in Linny's baggage?
Right! Your discovery caused me to make a serious mistake, you know. Or was that not a discovery, but false evidence that you dare to bring before this court?
I suspect that the accomplice mentioned in Cowell's notes was not Linny, but you, yes? I'm sure you know what you must do to lessen your sentence.
Speak quickly! Unless you want to earn yourself a one-way ticket to Coupon Town.
I was just following orders. We were supposed to place blame for the serial disappearances onto Linny, and thus cause suspicion to fall on the Fatui. The higher-ups said this was the best opportunity to do so.
Los Fatui son sanguinarios, son unos asesinos, son unos desgraciados. Así que era un objetivo fácil.
And now that your plan has fallen through, and the secrets of the water have been revealed, you have become a liability to said higher-ups, yes? Therefore, you would be wise to tell everything you know and seek the protection of the guards.
Yes, I'll tell you everything I know. Our
Qué
boss
jawline
discovered that the water can cause people to dissolve. It can also be made into a potion, which when extremely diluted, can cause people to experience unforgettable exhilaration. We've been in this business for a while now, and have made decent more off it. The disappearances were also the boss's idea.
Lo vi venir. Ya hizo efecto el cianuro. Bien observado.
And now he can no longer talk.
Such ruthlessness.
An outrageous act. All present, please submit to inspection immediately.
Nada queda en la escena, salvo el agua de la disolución.
So, we're just going back now?
Sí, el resto solo le queda a la policía. Esto no es Ace Attorney para que le tiren todos los abogados.
That's...
Traveler, Paimon, please wait.
No. Mi trabajo ya terminó aquí. Fuck off.
Linny...
I know you may not want to speak to me right now. Maybe you don't even want to look at me. But still, let me thank you again for defending me to the end. Even after you
Ok,
learned
qué
that I'm a
hipócrita
member of the Fatui.
del Traveler si realmente no le quiere hablar a Linny, solo porque es un Fatui. Si hace unas escenas atrás nos encontramos a Child, que es un Fatui, y lo tratamos como amigo. Sí, hemos tenido unas que otras aventuras con Child en el pasado, pero igual, sigue siendo Fatui. Y no estoy diciendo eso como que también deberíamos odiar a Child. Solo dejar hablar a Lini. Quizás no sea el mal tipo. Que definitivamente no es.
I guess. But regardless, I'd like the opportunity to set things straight. I didn't approach you with any ulterior motives or ill intent. I've spoken to you as myself, just plain Linny this entire time.
Excepto Lynette. Ella es un clon.
As for why I'm a Fatus, it's because the goals of the House of the Hearth align with those of an orphan like me. That was how Father, who you might know as the Knave, approached recruiting us back then too.
Dijo father, pero en español es mother. Madre. But that's... Vale, chino.
Knave? The one who controls the House of the Hearth? She's your father?
That's right. And since we're here, I was wondering... Back when our
fuck
parents
it,
first
adelante.
died, Lynette and I were left wandering the streets. To survive, I took to surreptitiously observing an older street performer who did magic. I took my sister through several streets until we found a crowded corner, and we began to perform magic tricks there.
Lastimosamente era un callejón de amareros y acabamos de traspasar en su territorio. No salimos vivos de esa.
To my surprise, we proved to be pretty popular, and we could at least stop worrying about where our next meal would come from for a time. Before long, an aristocrat came to me and claimed that he wished to take us in after watching.
So you went from orphans to nobility just like that?
That was how we felt at first too. As if fate was on our side and we could say, but I gradually discovered that while we were called foster children, he was really after my talent for magic tricks. He would constantly take me to all sorts of banquets to garner attention, which he would then use to expand his social circles.
That doesn't seem too bad either. Better than roaming the streets at any rate.
It took a while for me to realize. After one particular performance at a banquet, I discovered that Lynette was not on the same return vehicle as me.
Oh no.
I waited a long time after we returned home, but she did not come back. The answer he gave me was, she caught the eye of the most eminent person at the banquet, so I sent her over as a gift.
No.
I mean, you'll be able to perform your magic regardless.
Oh no.
Oh no.
So he was... But wouldn't Fontaine's laws deal with some...
As far as outsiders are concerned, this is a relationship akin to adoption or foster care, and they have their ways of escaping the eye of the law. I managed to ferret out the location of the mansion of that so-called eminent person and hurried through the night. But by the time I leaped over the walls, all I saw was the moonlit ground covered in blood.
So, she'd already taken...
That's right. She had rescued my sister before she could come to any harm,
Wait, pero Lynette
and had
es
even
una máquina.
discovered several girls hidden in a basement. All of them, or father, I mean, the knave, might have seen something in me, and so she made me. The House of the Hearth welcomes you, for your interests align with ours. Here, none will ever betray you. Indeed, I was hesitant to trust her. I mean, I had just been betrayed by nobles. But she was also quick to destroy the noble who had taken us in at first.
Oh, so that's how the two of you joined the House of the Hearth.
She has her own plans. She has gained permission from the Sarita to first use the Gnosis' power once she obtains
De la
it.
salida de ese
She
schlag.
plans to use it to find a way to break the prophecy and save Fontaine.
So, she believes in that prophecy too?
That's right. The whole House of the Hearth is currently working to combat that crisis.
Arlechino sí suena como un nombre de alguien de esa región.
Today's case has also
Sí está
proven
basado en
that people
Francia
from
y en
Fontaine
Italia.
can indeed dissolve into some sort of water, thus further supporting the prophet. All of us house members here, Lady Arlecchino herself included, are from Fontaine. We won't give up on defending our homeland. To us
Arlecchino.
orphans, the only connection we have left to this world, apart from our family, is our homeland.
So, from small deeds like distributing magic pockets to huge schemes like stealing a Gnosis, everything is...
It's all right. I understand. I just hope you can understand that even as a member of the House, I have never stopped making my own decisions, and that I believe what I'm doing is right. If you should need anything at all in the future, feel free to find me. I will do my best to help you, as plain...
Gracias. Oh, gee.
Bye, Linny.
Bueno, en serio, siento que ya está a punto de terminar esto. Pero voy a seguir un poco. Ya casi va siendo hora de comer, pero... ¿por qué no? Solo un poco más. Wait, arriba. No, me imaginé que iba a salir.
Hey there. What was with the disappearing act you pulled right as the trial ended?
Were you looking for us, Navia?
Well, this whole thing isn't exactly over, is it? I do feel that we're getting closer to solving the serial disappearances case, though. Don't you think so? Huh? What's wrong, my dear partner?
Bueno, es cierto, es lo que yo decía. Mi trabajo aquí ya terminó.
Crack a case that's been cold for and given that there's new evidence from the trial, there should be a trail of breadcrumbs for the...
Ah. I see. Well, I won't lie. I'm a little shocked to hear that from you. Sorry. I might have been too presumptuous.
Don't say that, Navia.
Ah, and we were having so much fun investigating with you, too. It was like having new waters flowing into a stagnant mire, causing new hope to spring forth, and the reflection in the murk to become clearer. Sorry about that. I'm a bit prone to nostalgia. Don't mind me. Wait, shall we have a farewell meal? You know, to commemorate our time as
I'm
partners?
down.
Huh? Do we really need to get that formal?
Well, I'd just like to have a proper ending to every important memory. That way there are no regrets later.
Holy shit.
Anyway, it would just be a meal, so it shouldn't take up too much of your time.
A ver, si insiste, sure. Yo no voy a rechazar una comida.
Oh, wonderful. In that case, why don't we return to the Court of Fontaine and head to the Hotel de Boer? I believe we'll make it just in time.
All right, then. Let's have our
Acto 1 completado. ¿No hay un acto 2? Sí que lo hay. Bueno, si ese es el inicio de la siguiente misión, supongo aquí ya es buen punto para dejarlo. A menos que me interrumpan aquí mismo. Y con lo que yo estaba diciendo de Furina, es el final del acto 2, o sea, el final de este acto. Que está lo que quiero desbloquear o descubrir. Pero supongo eso sería para otra ocasión. ¿Cuánto de esto tengo? Voy a matarlo una vez más. El robot del inicio. No quisiera oxidarme. Pero primero... Vamos, una Yellen más. Solo una, no pido mucho. Como regalo de cumpleaños. Bueno, quizás sea una Lynette. Solo me lo estaban dando para esto. ¿Cuántas de esas tengo a todo esto? A ver, arcos, armas, cambiar. Eso ya sería mi... Oh, iba a decir, ya la tengo. Refinamiento 5. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Es más. Oh, well. ¿Dónde está esa cosa? Ahora está la ciudad. A ir en bus. Otra ocasión. Vamos, está bien. Muy bien, una vez más. Por favor, Copelia.
Here comes the catch. Quietly now. Gotcha. Let me read you a verse. Drain outlines your fate.
Ese toma un poco más de tiempo. Y me pegaron. Nada, no me sirve, pero... Uy, ya tengo 17, perfecto. Nice. Bueno, ese ya es buen punto para dejarlo. Hoy el directo fue más largo de lo que pensaba, más bien. Aún sí dije que iba a ser uno corto. Pero también la... qué pinta, qué bonito detalle. Es simple, pero... Ah, eso hubiera sido también un bonito detalle. Bueno, como dije. Se supone que va a ser algo corto y me hubiera gustado salir un poco antes, pero... se extendió demasiado la escena, no podía salir sin una opción de reanudar después. Pero igual me gustó bastante. Realmente me interesa seguir esto. Pero eso sería en otra ocasión. Así que, si alguien encuentra esto en el futuro, muchas gracias por ver, por escuchar, por estar aquí. Chao.